So here we are about to color our gradients. I have already done my background with pink and red, which are warm colors. Remember, we're choosing a color palette here on purpose. I'm about to fill in my last strip. I wanted to point out a couple things before we moved on to the hand. Make sure you turn your pencil as you go so one side doesn't get flat and the other side gets too sharp. When you get to the edge here, if you go back and forth, it creates darker lines. So I like to go just one way off the page. If you're working in a book, it helps. Also, right now I'm looking at some spots. After I do this whole thing, I look at my spots and I make sure that I cover up some of the space that looks a little empty. I'm gonna scan through and cover up, make sure I've actually worked on filling all the space. You'll notice this is very light. It's a lighter tone. I am definitely not coloring the background super dark. I'm gonna reserve that for the parts of my fingers that go into darkness. You can kind of see that. It's darker over here and lighter on top. And that is how we're gonna color. So after I have looked around and filled in most of my spots, so I can be proud of how I've lightly colored the background. Now let's just start on this pinky over here. Excuse me. I'm gonna start on the edges and I'm coloring as if I'm actually coloring the arc and as if this finger is three-dimensional and it's like an object, a real finger. So my darkest part is here, and as I get to the top of my pinky, it gets lighter. So I'm lessening my pressure and I'm blending back and forth, and you can see it's a little lighter and a little darker. It'll be easier on a bigger space, but my dark space is here. That should be red. I just made a mistake, but that's okay. I can just cover it back up. So now I'm in the red zone from here, and my super, super dark. Then I get a little lighter, less pressure. And I'm coloring, I'm not going straight across. I'm coloring as if I'm arcing. So when I get to the top, it's almost, you can even leave it a teeny bit, like you can see the white. And then you can get better at blending this. I go back and forth and I blend in the lines so it looks a little more gradual, the color change from dark red to light red. Oh, I almost made the same mistake again. Now I'm on to pink. So my pink, I'll go darker first. Dark, dark, dark in my corners where the shadows would be. And then I'm gonna lighten up a little bit. Blend that a little bit, and then even lighter. Until I'm curving and I'm hardly putting any pressure at all. And then I go back and blend it a little bit so it doesn't look like a straight dark line.